Hey all, it's me, Missy with Missy's Guidance and Tarot. So I came on here because I received another download or a message or a dream, whatever you want to call it. So if this message is for you, that's great. If it's not, please leave it right where it is. You can always check out the About section of my channel, and if you can't find what you're looking for, feel free to reach out to me, right? So I had two dreams back to back. Or maybe the two dreams were one and the same. Take it how it resonates. But there was two instances or two occasions. Is it occasions? Two occurrences that was significant that happened. So I dreamt that I was in a really nice home. I was with my who I presume to be my twin. And I don't really like to give labels to this, but it's I'm really a believer that you do have somebody out there that is your other half, and you guys mirror each other. Just look up the twin flame journey. So anyways, I um I had a dream that I was living in this house. It was a really nice home. It was very big. It was flat. It was one level flat. So it was spacious and it was nice. Well, what I presume to be nice. Um, there was a particular room that we were in. We had two pianos. We had those big black pianos. I don't know what they're called. Maybe granddaddy pianos. I don't know. You know, like when you're going to like a show and there's the orchestra and then the pianist and the pianist is playing on that big ass black piano. We had one of those and we had a bunch of picture frames on top of that, right? There was something in particular, it was very unusual, and it was in the center, it was on top of that piano, and it was surrounded by a lot of picture frames to try to blend it in because it was something of great value, but it was hidden in plain sight. And the only two people that knew it was there is me and my twin. So it was there. He and I, then we had the other piano. So you remember that piano where with the guy Archie Bunker and him and his wife was playing the piano and she was singing off key and all of that stuff. Well, if you know that show that I'm talking about, he and I were sitting there and he was playing the piano and we also had some picture frames on top of that piano as well. And it was like a brown piano, almost like what you would have in like a church, sort of, like them church organ type looking pianos. So we had one of those as well. But the grand piano was off to the side. And then that piano we had because my twin played the piano. He was very good at it. And every day it was a practice in that house that he would play maybe one to a couple of songs for me. And we would sit together, bond together, so that he could practice on that brown piano. So we were sitting there and he was playing the piano and stuff like that. And this was the room was set up where the grand piano was the main showcase, and then that brown one was off to the side against the wall. But you could, if you sit at the brown one, you could see the grand piano and all of the picture frames and that one thing of value that was surrounded by all those picture frames, right? Nobody, the only time he touches that grand piano is if we have guests come over and he's going to play for like a group of people, like a group of his friends or something like that. Okay. So we're sitting. I'm telling you all of this because I'm trying to set the scene for you guys. So we're sitting at this brown piano over here, and he's playing, and I'm looking at him, and he's singing as he's playing because not only can he sing, not only can he play the piano, he can sing. And he has a beautiful voice. I mean, his voice is deep, on the 3D, but he has a like almost an angelic voice because we were in the 5D. So he was sitting at the piano and he was playing for me, and I was smiling and I was just listening to him, and I was, rocking and bopping to the music and whatnot. We had a friend, or what we thought was a friend, because she's frequent. She knows like both of us, and she's frequent multiple times. So what we thought was she's frequent, mean frequently come to the house multiple times. She's been to my house, she's been to his house, whatever. She came over and she saw this one particular thing of value on the grand piano, the black piano. And she was sitting in a chair, like a one piece chair, and the chair was white. And, because like I said, we were living a comfortable life. This was in the 5D that I'm talking about. She came over, she saw this thing of value, and she was eyeing it, and me and him was over here playing, and I turned around, turned over and looked at her, and I saw her staring at the piano and staring at the thing, but I didn't literally like make any action. And she was like, "Oh, this is pretty, can I have it?" So I said to her, "No, you cannot have it." So I turned back around and he was playing and singing, and I was enjoying myself and stuff like that. I turned around, this heifer, and yes, I said heifer, this heifer got up out the seat, went over to the grand piano, and took that thing of value that was on the piano. And she was looking at it, touching it, getting her hands all over it, because we have, like, when you touch things, your fingerprints, your oil, your body oil, and all that stuff is all on the item of whatnot. And I got mad. So I got up off of that bench that was right in front of that the brown piano, walked over there because she took it, and she was sitting back in the seat and she was looking at it and she was holding it. She was trying to figure out what it was. And tell me, when I tell you that snatch game was strong, I snatched that thing right out of her hand and I said, "I told you you couldn't have it." That snatch game was so strong, man. I told you you couldn't have it. So why would you touch it after I told you you couldn't have it? Give me back my thing. And I snatched it out of her hand. And I took it with me and brought it over to where the brown piano was and sat back down. And he was still playing and singing like I never even left, or like he didn't even see what was going on, because the whole time he was like he was in like he was like on autopilot. He was just playing and singing and stuff like that. And somehow it was like he didn't even see what was going on. So it was almost as if he was naive as to, like, I guess that's naivety. I don't know if that's even a word, but maybe that's somebody's name, naivete. But anyways, he just kept playing and smiling and singing like nothing never happened, and he didn't see the um the the interaction between me and this girl who we thought was our friend. She tried to take something of value of ours, and I went and snatched it back. I grabbed it out of her hand. I said, "I told you not, you can't have it. Give me back my stuff." And I took it from her and went and brought it over next to me with the piano. She didn't want the other picture frames. And I mean, the picture frames were nice. It was whatever this particular thing is that was surrounded by the picture frames. That was the value that she wanted. But she couldn't have it. Because if you're going to take something from me, I'm going to snatch it back. This is not the first, second, or third time I had a dream where I had something of value and somebody tried to snatch it from me and I snatched it back. So then that was the instant. She went to go sit back down and she was pissed. She was like frowning because she tried to take something and she couldn't get it. So then now, the next dream that I had was we were living in, I guess it was the same house, but we were living in a neighborhood. So it was our house, it was the neighbor's house. Then there was an open field, like an open area, and it was really bad and messed up and stuff like that. So he and I decided that we were gonna go. actually, I think it was either two or three houses. So it was our house, the neighbor's house, then the neighbor's house, or it was our house, the neighbor's house, and this. Wait, let me start over. So it was our house, the neighbor's house, another neighbor's house, and then there was this open area right here, or it was our house, the neighbor's house, and then the open area. I can't remember if it was two or three houses in between our house and that open area. But, anyways, so he and I decided that, okay, so seeing how this area was messed up, it had like shrubs, it wasn't pretty, like they weren't maintaining it and stuff like that. We were gonna invest in making it pretty or making it nicer, like cleaning it up so that people could go over there and, like, if they wanted to sit in a bench, they could go sit over there with the where the bench was, or they wanted to go sit, like get a blanket and just sit in the little field. It's almost like a miniature little, I don't know, play area or something. Well, not really a play area, but like a park, or like a nice showpiece, I guess, for outside. Like make it really nice, like make it really look nice. I don't really know how to describe it, so that's why I'm struggling trying to convey what I'm seeing in the dream. So it was like we decided to do that. So what we did, because again, we were well off and we wanted something to be nice for the community. And I wouldn't even say we were rich. We were comfortable. Put it that way. So we wanted something to look nice for the community. So we were going to decide to invest. But then it was like some weird thing. Like we I guess we had a certain amount of. It was almost as if there was a part, there was a scene, and I'm saying scene because that's how I'm seeing it. There was a scene where it was like there was a large, like a quantity of money or something like that. There was some money involvement, and I was the smart one, and I wrapped up a bunch of bills and I took it and I hid it in a particular place, right? And I think I did that because there was some level of naiveness when it came to my twin. He was kind of naive. Like if, and I guess I say he was naive in the fact that when it came to his generosity, he was very naive. Like people come to him with a sob story and he would just take money and give to them. But because we were a couple, we were together, because we were married, we were together, it was like he would just, like, if, I guess what I'm hearing is like he would give the shirt off of his back if it came down to it for people who were undeserving, right? And when I said that, I saw 1333 on the counter. That breaks down to a 10. So 10 is a completion of something. So that cycle could be over. But anyways, so we had an emergency fund in the particular area, right? Again, this is a dream. So don't go looking for me because I didn't send for y'all. So in the dream, we had a like an area where we had kept the emergency fund in case anything were to happen. We would just go there and grab what we could. And I was the one that was accountable, or was like keeping tabs of how much money was in the emergency fund stash. And I noticed that the emergency fund was dwindling down. So what I did without him knowing was I took more than about half, if not more than half of that emergency fund, and I hid it. Not hit it. I hid it, like put it in a secret location. So we used some of that money out of the emergency fund, which was remaining, not the part that I put in a secret location. And we were spending money to fix up the yard and our yard as well as that area there. And we bought some really nice lights, and we had some shrubs implanted, or like not shrubs, but like bushes, flower bushes like roses. And we had this and stuff like that and all that stuff. And then the neighbor that's right next to us came out and was like, "What are you guys doing?" And we said, "Well, we decided that we were going to make the yard prettier, and we were going to install these really nice lights, and we were going to install a walkway going around the house. So if we wanted to go like outside and walk around the house, the lights were solar. So every time you take a step, the lights automatically turn on and light the pathway." So that part, from what I'm from for me, is like every step you take, the path is being litten. Oh God, the path is illuminating. So every time you move forward, a light turns, the path gets illuminated to what's your next step that you need to do. So that could be a message for somebody or just a message for me. Take it how it resonates. So the guy was like, "Okay, well, that's cool." And then I said, "Well, what we're also going to do," because he was also, not only was he could sing and he could play the piano, he was very good with his hands. Like he was like a Mr. Fix It type situation. So this man was multi-talented, man, like for real. So he was outside fixing the yard, and then he came over and was talking to the guy, and we were talking to him, and we were like, "Yeah." And what we decided to do with whatever, when we're done fixing up our yard, the little bit of money that's left over, whatever money's left over, we were going to invest in this little open space over here to make it pretty so that people could go over there and hang out and stuff like that. And then the neighbor looked at us and like, "Why would you do that? Because that's not your property. It belongs to the other neighbor." So it was like us, the neighbor, and another neighbor, or something to that effect, or is that city property? And we were like, "We know, but it looks really bad, so we're gonna fix it up, and then we could maybe use it as our property, like of the neighborhood, like people from the neighborhood could go over there and chill or whatever, stuff like that." So he was like, "Okay," and I was like, because of my knowledge, it's like, yeah, and that could be like a tax write-off or something like that, because it's like a tax write-off, whatever. So so then now, as we were cleaning up the yard, the other people was like, "Hey, we see you're cleaning up your yard. Do you need help?" So I was like, "Sure." So they came over and they were helping us, and I went upstairs to go do something. And we had cameras installed around the house, so we could see 360 what was going on. And everything is being recorded. So it's like you can't lie or say that, oh, you weren't doing something when you were. So there was a very high tech security system around because he is into that stuff. So he went and either bought some stuff and made this high tech security system, whatever. Um, so I was upstairs, and as I'm like doing something, oh, I had to change my clothes. So as I was changing my clothes, I was watching the video. And then they got up to move this big old block. And when they moved the big old block, there was some money under there. And I'm like, "Oh crap, that's the secret stash." So this lady, this Caucasian lady, she with black hair, she was like, "Oh, I found this. Can I have it?" But it was wrapped up. He didn't know what it was because remember, I didn't tell him. So he was like, "Sure." He gave it to her. So I was like, "Oh, hell no. You, I have never gotten dressed in 1919. Well, I saw 1919 on the counter when I said that. I have never gotten dressed so fast in that dream. It was ridiculous. I flew downstairs and I said to her, that thing that you found, can I get it back, please?" She was like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Yeah, those two bricks that you found, may I get them back, please?" She was like, "No, because your husband said I could have it." And I looked at her and I said, "It was not his to give away. If he's giving anything away, it's supposed to be a consent, like a joint consent between two people. So he cannot give it away. And furthermore, it was on our property. So run me my stuff. And she was hesitant and she had it behind her back. And I literally reached behind her and snatched it back from her. And I brought it in the house. So she wasn't too happy about that either. And it's like, it's the common theme here. It's like women, it's a lot of women like trying to take from him and try to take from us. And then when we went upstairs, he asked me what was in the bricks. And I said, how could you do that? How could you give it away without consenting to me or asking me? Because I thought we were a team. We were supposed to do something together. So we exchanged, we were having a conversation about it. And it was like we were supposed to be working as a team. And it's like you're giving away things without consulting me about it or something like that. And he was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I just thought it was a regular brick. And I said, well, it wasn't. So then when I opened it, he saw these huge two wads, like the wads were like laying on their side. The wads were about that big. And he said to me, what is that? And I said, this was a secret part of the secret stash that we had that you kept giving away to every person that comes to you and kept asking you for help. So I realized that you were the one that was working against me, playing Captain Save a female, save a man. Just because they come to you and ask you for stuff, that doesn't mean you should give it to them. And you worked against me instead of us trying to like work together as a team. You went behind my back and you was doing this and doing that and stuff like that because you were naive as hell. You were being naive. And that's what the problem is. So he was like, how much money in there? And I said, it was the last time I checked, it was anywhere from about 2 to 4 mil. I didn't say million. I just said 2 to 4 mil. That's all I said. And this was in the dream. And he was like, oh my God, I can't believe I almost gave that woman the money. And I said, yes. And on top of that, this is the last of it. So why would you do something like that? And he was so apologetic. He was like, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was working against you. Da 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 da. Because he was naive. He believed that everybody that came to him was smiling in his face, giving him this sob story was genuine, and they were not. They were not. They were basically, they knew the value, they knew what he had, and they tried to take it from him and basically break him, bring him down to the ground. And because I was attached to him, they tried to take both of us down. But I was the stronger of the two. And then after that whole thing ended, I literally like, then the next thing I heard, it was like, you were brought here to take everything back that they stole from y'all. That's the reason why you're here. Everything that they tried to take from you or took from you, you were here to snatch it back, take it back. And then I heard the song, everything that the devil stole, God's going to give it back to me. So I don't know what, like, I'm still trying to figure that out. But the solar light part where it tells like every step you take, the light gets illuminated as to what your next move is. But in that dream, boy, two women tried to take from us, and I snatched the hell out of them things back. And they were both upset. So I don't know if I defeated two people. Well, I mean, I did because I took back what they stole from us. So I defeated two individuals, but I feel like there's more to come. So I'm going to go ahead and end that. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. By you doing so, that says to me that the content that I'm creating is of value, and I will continue to create more content like this. I know this was a long a long message that I was trying to give out, but I felt like it needed to be given. So if you've been in a situation or you see like people just take it from you, whatever, you got to take it back from them. Don't just let people snatch stuff from you without you snatching it back. They took it from you, you take it back. They stole it from you, you're not stealing it back because it was yours to begin with and you did not authorize them to take it. So they stole it from you, you go back into that person's place and you take back what belongs to you. All right. Bye y'all.